it should be smooth to go.
Great. Yeah, I'm monitoring it on Facebook.
And then I'm going to share a screen here. Everybody see my screen? Yeah, Mario, you see my screen too?
Let me just double check here. Yeah, I see that.
All right, awesome. So my name's Alex Montalenti. I'm the CEO of RealGrader.ai. You also have Mario Hurley on the call. He's the co-host of this amazing session we do. We call this the Friday Masterclass because every Friday it's a different topic. It's a masterclass because truthfully, I'm mastering this along with all of you. And the idea is to become masters in our domain, whether it's real estate, digital marketing, you name it. So thank you for being here. You could have put your attention anywhere on a Friday with your family, with your business. You could have been on the beach, but you're here with me. So let's make the most of it. We got just under an hour. Put away your distractions. Try to stay as focused, be present. I'm going to give you everything I got. I spend hours and hours putting this together every week. It's different content every week. And it's really special that you all can be here sharing it with me. You really inspire me to even be here. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just want to take Friday off. But I'm here because of you, all of you that really show up. So that makes me show up. And the story of me in real estate is I've been in the industry 25 years. And it all started with my mom. I started helping her with digital marketing. And she wasn't good with computers. She was great with people, terrible with technology. So I started doing her digital marketing. I started promoting her. She closed the biggest deal of her life. It was an $80,000 commission check. Single mom, raising 2 kids, lots of bills, $80,000 check, paid the mortgage for years. And then all of her friends wanted to adopt me. Her broker wanted to hire me. And then I started doing digital marketing for the rest of my life for the real estate industry. Now I speak on stages internationally. RE/MAX just invited me down to Argentina. I speak for the National Association of Realtors. I do some of their webinars. And I do this masterclass every Friday complimentary. All right, so you can always join me here. Now, little intro, it's a journey, right? Life's a journey. This is not an overnight success story. I've been doing this for 25 years. Some people say by 10 years, you should be wealthy. And I even discovered that this morning. I'm like, why aren't I like extremely wealthy if I've been doing this for 25 years? Well, part of it is that I'm always helping other people and I'm not necessarily helping myself first, which is changing now. It's a new thing that I've decided to do is help others and put myself first. How many people on this call have the same syndrome that I have? Like you're such a giver that you're actually not putting yourself first. Just out of curiosity, anybody the same? Yeah, can't say no. People pleaser, like taking care of my family, taking care of my employees, taking care of my clients. Yet, what about me and my retirement, right? It's like, all right, that's got to change. So today I'm declaring it. I'm putting myself first. And by putting myself first, I'm also serving all of you and serving everybody in my family, my business, etc. But it's 25 years that it took me to figure this out. Pretty wild, right? You'd think I'd have it figured out by now. Not the case.
Let me just interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Not to be completely contrarian to what you're saying, but I do believe you did say you got to see Jordan Peterson, I think is his name.
Yes.
Somebody who's definitely on the latter part of his life. And he also kind of took a while to figure out what was he up to. He was a professor and he had an opinion, but he wasn't as outspoken as he is now. And he didn't grow so much in social media as he did in the few years. And now he's actually doing public talks, I should say. Did he share anything about how long it took him to figure this out?
Yeah, longer than me.
So yeah, it's not really whether you're here and you're just figuring this out or it took you 20, 30 years. The moment is now. And if you're here with us, it's not a coincidence that you're hearing this message. Somebody said, no, it's not in my vocabulary. Maybe you want that in your vocabulary. You just use it all the time.
Yep.
And see how much that opens up in your life. So this is not just about branding. This is really about you, because your brand reflects what you authentically are communicating. And if you're not so sure about that, if you haven't yet settled down about what you're up to, it also doesn't portray a clear message.
And that's a perfect segue. Is like years ago, I had 7 businesses. So if you ask me what my brand was, like, oh, I have a tourist marketing agency. I've got a website development company. I got a technology consulting company. I was doing everything and doing nothing at the same time. Like no focus. And then I hit these 2 books, 10X is easier than 2X and the 80-20 principle. Totally changed my life. Now I focus on the things that really make a difference in my business. And if you've been on my calls before, you know that these books are huge inspiration for me. And I'm curious, since I share them all the time, how many of you have read either one of these books or both of these books? Let me know. Or if you bought them since the last time I told you about them. These books are gold because it gets you so focused on what really matters in your business. The 80% of the things that we do don't yield the results. It's the 20% that yield the most results. The 80-20 rule exists everywhere. 80% of the realtors don't do any business. Did you know that? I think you know that. 20% of the realtors, some say even 7% of the realtors, do a majority of the business. Why is that? Because they're focused on the 20% that matters. 10X is easier than 2X. If you want to exponentially grow your business, you're not going to do a million things. You're going to do less. Right? I love it. Renee says, because we're driven. Because you show up to calls like this too, that are going to game change you, right? So the 80-20 rule is key. And the more I got focused, the more I had success and the more I could identify what is my brand. Right? Because if I'm not focused, my brand is going to look not focused. Can you really say, if you're in New York, can you really say that you serve the entire state of New York? You could try, but you're probably focused on certain geographical areas. If you're doing equestrian, can you also say you do waterfront and you do luxury and I do equestrian and I do this and I do that? No focus, right? So we've all got the same content, but our context could be different. So anybody have a guess as to what this is that I'm showing on the screen? And this is out of the book 10X is easier than 2X. It's rock. It's a marble, right? And Michelangelo saw a rock, a piece of marble, and said, I'm going to carve the most beautiful statue ever, the most real, lifelike statue that has ever existed. And he carved Hercules, right? One of the first real lifelike statues. But he saw a rock, and then he saw this. Most of us see a rock, we don't think we could carve this out of it, right? So it depends what your context is about your company, about your brand, that really matters. The content is the same. We all sell real estate. The context is different. If you're following, let me know. So it's context versus content. Now, this is my favorite statue, and then I'm going to get into branding. The David, right? And Michelangelo said, I created a vision of David in my mind and carved away everything that was not David. Pretty wild, right? This is what I'm doing in my life. And many of you are probably doing in your life. If anybody's doing this, let me know. I created a vision of Alex in my mind. I got some misspellings here. And carved away everything that is not Alex. I am taking away things in my life to get to the focus of what's going to make a difference for me, my family, my clients. And that, my friends, has been the biggest game changer in my life so far. And I'm 47, so I got plenty more to go, right? So the question becomes, who are you? What is your brand? What are you carving away so that you can focus and have a really clean brand? You get what I mean by a clean brand? Like a clean brand is like, I get it. I get who you are. You're not trying to be everything to everyone. You are you, the unique version of you. Make sense? So now we're going to get into this branding presentation, but I wanted to lay that context because sometimes we're not focused. And I think the cleaner, the more focused you are, the easier this process of creating your brand or identifying your brand or knowing your brand is going to be. Mario, anything you want to add before we jump into this?
Yeah, that's perfect. Like you know, one of the things Alex is famous for is repeating himself. You guys noticed? But I think you made your point. Focus is the name of the game. All right. So it's like, yeah, but let me do all these things. Yeah, but I do know I can specialize. If somebody needs it, I'll go do it. If it's gonna make me money, I'll do it. But then where's your focus? So focus is we're here. We got the point. Focus.
Mario always jokes that I repeat myself. And what he doesn't realize is that I repeat myself because ever since I've been helping with technology, I've had to repeat myself over and over. So the button is over here on the left. Where's the button? It's over here on the left. Where's the button? Over here on the left. And then you're going to press the menu and it's going to drop down. So I just repeat myself all the time when it comes to technology. So check it out. Here's what I did. I woke up this morning after doing the presentation, having it all ready. I said, well, what is my brand? And I was like, all right, I kind of know what my brand is. But let me ask ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, what is Alex's brand? And I was blown away, everybody. This is straight out of ChatGPT. Okay, I'm going to read it to you. You tell me if this identifies with how you all know me. For those of you that are first time, you're just getting to know me. It said, your brand is bold, entrepreneurial, and purpose-driven, rooted in hustle, heart, and high standards. You're not just in business to build a company. You're building something that shifts the game. You've got deep roots in sales, street smarts, and marketing, and that blends with a tech-savvy vision that empowers others, especially real estate professionals, to step into the spotlight and win. I did not write this, everybody. This is ChatGPT 4.0. Mind-blowing, right? Carly says, even though first time I already know this about you from the first slide you shared with your mom in it. Right on the nose. Wow. I'm telling you, everybody, I'm having some weird conversations with ChatGPT lately. It's getting to know me on a deep level, kind of freaky, but it just wrote my brand. What was the question? That's awesome. Jorge says, what was the question I asked ChatGPT? I said, please describe my brand. That's all I said. I didn't even go into detail. So then I asked it, I said, that's too weird. I said, please describe the brand for Anna Benavides, one of our clients that I know really well. It did an amazing job too. I'm going to show you the results. So all of you can do this. You can go to ChatGPT and say, please describe my brand. And you're going to get something that is probably going to blow your mind. Pretty cool, right? Julia says, I named him Charlie. Robert says, I just did it. So then it started explaining like my brand values, authentic hustler, from shoveling snow. It knew that I used to shovel snow as a kid, to modeling with Jennifer Connelly. And yes, I was a child model with Jennifer Connelly. Your story shows grit and creativity. You're not afraid to start at the bottom and outwork everyone. Wild, right? Empowerment. Real Grader isn't just a business. It's a movement to elevate people. You help real estate pros take control of their digital presence and become influential. Visionary builder. You're chasing big goals, 50 million in revenue. It knew that. Just for not just for money, but because you love the challenge of growth and creating a lasting impact. Modern marketer. You get digital. You're ahead of the curve, guiding others not just to catch up, but lead. Connector and influencer. And what I'm sharing with you now are my brand values. So now you can go to ChatGPT, and I mean, we can talk about how to help you with this, but decipher what your brand is, what your brand values are, what your brand statement is, and what your brand social media needs to sound like. And ChatGPT did all of this for me. Okay, I didn't rewrite any of this. So connector and influencer, you have an eye for people and presence. You understand influence, both how it's built and how it moves business forward. I'm always connecting people. You all know this. So I'm going to pause here and tell you about, we are connecting all of you with one of the biggest influencers in video on YouTube. Okay? I'll answer that question in a second, Dawn. But on April 10th, I got Sean Cannell, who has 3 million YouTube subscribers. I cornered him at an event and I went to his event, and I've been stalking him to try to get him to come talk to all of you, and I got him. Okay, he's going to do a complimentary training on April 10th for all of you, and this is the link to register, livergmasterclass.com. Sean Cannell is Cannell, I believe. So this is complimentary. He usually charges for these. I recommend you register. Mario, if you could put the link in the chat for everybody. But if you want to learn about how to do YouTube and video and increase your brand on YouTube, you have to be here. I'm telling you, this is a huge class. Probably the biggest training we've ever done in the history of Real Grader. Like the most amount of people will register for this. Awesome. Jacqueline registered. You got the link for everybody, Mario?
I mean, I want to also get the QR code.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, you all can go to livergmasterclass.com. It's complimentary. There's no charge, no catch, no nothing. Just register. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. So connector and influencer, right? You need my help, Mario, for this, or you got it?
I got it. I'm posting right now.
Awesome. Just want to watch the time.
Copy. ChatGPT take over my job, so I don't have to work anymore. They don't do that yet. Okay.
Yeah, and also check out Sean Cannell and follow him on YouTube. There you go. There's a link that Mario just put in the chat for you all. You just click on that link, goes to Live RG Masterclass. You hit save your seat, and boom, you've got it saved. All right, let's keep moving here. So then I asked ChatGPT, what's my brand statement? It goes, I'm a lifelong entrepreneur, driven by hustle hard and a mission to empower others. From child model to founder, I build my brand on grit, creativity, and the thrill of growth. As the founder of Real Grader, I help real estate professionals measure, manage, and maximize their digital presence so they can become the influential leaders their market needs. I don't just build businesses, I build movements that elevate people and change industries. I love this. I was like, wow, this makes me sound really good. First of all. Second of all, this is spot on. And third of all, I didn't have to write it. So leverage AI, leverage ChatGPT to do some of your work for you. It's a game changer. And the more ChatGPT and AI knows you, the better it's going to write about you. It's learning about you. Okay. And how many of you on the call don't use AI and don't use ChatGPT? Because I mean, this isn't just about that. I just want to help you understand that it's available. Carly says, not yet. Awesome. Maybe this opened up your eyes a little bit to what's available. Daniel says, not enough. I only use it for ads. You can do some wild stuff on here, everybody. It's crazy. And then I asked it to write me my social media bio. Pretty sweet, right? So now you're like, that's cool, Alex. ChatGPT probably knows you because you use it all the time. Well, ChatGPT doesn't know Anna Benavides. She's a realtor, just like all of you. So I asked ChatGPT, can you write the brand description for Anna Benavides? And it said, Anna Benavides is more than a realtor. She's a trusted guide in one of life's most meaningful journeys. Her brand is built on trust, connection, and consistency. Anna brings heart to every home and strategy to every sale, blending marketing expertise with a deep understanding of her clients' needs. Whether she's negotiating deals, staging homes, or walking first-time homebuyers through the process, she leads with professional empathy and relentless commitment to delivering results. Her presence is calming. Her work is precise. Her goal is simple, to turn real estate dreams into reality. Wild. So ChatGPT knows Anna pretty well too, apparently, and Anna doesn't even use ChatGPT the way that I use it. You get where I'm going with this? This is pretty wild, right? I'm saving you all a bunch of work. You know how much time it would write you to figure out what your brand statement is? You're getting a head start with AI. Yeah, Charles, you might even use this in your bio. Totally. Right? Brenda's mind blown. Yes. Then I said, what are the core traits of Anna's brand? Client first mindset, calm confidence, detail oriented, market savvy. Then I asked it, Write the personal brand statement. Actually, what happened was I asked it to write a description of her brand, and it asked me, would you like to also have a brand statement and a social media bio? I'm like, yes. So I just hit yes, and it spit this out. Yeah, Renee just did it, and it blew my mind. You're welcome. This stuff is like crazy, everybody. I mean, I'm a techie, and I'm blown away. You're welcome. So now I'm going to go, that was the AI version. You saw how wild that is. Now I'm going to go the traditional version. If you were going to hire a marketing company to work on your brand, Tim just did it too, and he's like, wow, thank you. You were going to hire a marketing company because you didn't have AI. I love all the shares right now. Robert's like, freaking awesome, Alex. Just had to do everything you have shared and also provided me a guide to make a storybook to share my brand. Sick, right? Like crazy stuff going on right now. But let's pretend AI didn't exist, okay? And let's pretend we went through the traditional marketing firm that was going to charge us, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 to make our branding. And we were going to figure out what our brand keywords are. And we might choose from a bunch of brand keywords, like maybe I'm passionate, I'm determined, I'm open-minded, I'm friendly, I'm bold, I'm dependable, I'm thoughtful, I'm tolerant, I'm an expert, I'm authentic, I'm diverse. One of the first exercises you would go through is start writing down the words that describe you and your brand. Now, how do you figure those out? One of the ways is to go read your testimonials and look at what are the words that your customers are using to describe you over and over. So let's practice this right now. For all of you, what words would you describe me as? Put a couple words in there. Put it in the chat. And I would look through that and say, what's the repetition? What words are getting repeated? Juan says guapo. Passionate, reliable, professional, honest, driven, passionate. So I'm starting to see a lot of passionates. So then I'd be like, oh, passionate is one of my words. Generous, responsible. I start to see a lot of those. I use that as one of my words. So if you're going through your Google reviews or you're going through your realtor.com reviews and you're going through your customer testimonials and you see certain words that just keep popping out, you don't have to think any further. Those are your brand keywords. Does that make sense? And thank you for all of you that are commenting. I appreciate that. It's really, first of all, making me feel good, right? Giving, knowledgeable, passionate, sharing knowledge, passionate, top of his game. Thank you so much. And your customers are saying amazing things about you too. So you want to go look at that and look for those keywords. Now, how could you do that? You could literally copy the whole thing, paste it into ChatGPT and say, what are the keywords that are being repeated here in all my testimonials? And boom, it would do it. So far, so good. This is brand keywords. Let's move on. What are your brand pillars? Okay, so keywords are important. Pillars are also important. Pillars are like, what are the major messages that you're putting out to the world? What are the core values that you put out to the world? What are the traits of your brand, right? They guide your marketing. They guide your messaging. They guide the client experience. They help you stand out in a competitive market. Okay? Now, kind of goes to what I said before. If you ask yourself this question, you'll start to come up with your brand pillars. What do people remember and say about you after working with you? If you think of that question with your customers, you're going to start to form your brand pillars, your brand values, because it's what other people are saying about you repeatedly. Honest, professional, integrity, right? Expert, authority, great negotiator. If you're seeing negotiator all the time, that means that's one of your core values, right? That's one of your brand values. So look for recurring themes in testimonials or conversations. Let's pause here. What's your biggest takeaway so far, everybody? We've got a lot of info coming at you. Want to make sure you take some of this in. So let me know in the chat, what's the biggest takeaway from what I've shared so far about ChatGPT, about brand pillars, about brand keywords? Julia says, how great I am according to ChatGPT. Carly says it can be so easy. Excellent use of AI for branding. I can't believe how easy it was to get a brand statement. Awesome, awesome. You're all getting the good takeaways here, right? Mario, anything to add before we keep going? It's pretty wild,
Yeah, the
right?
beauty of this, the beauty of using ChatGPT, it is a large language model, right? It's designed to gather from all the possible data there is about you and everything that you feed it individually, personally. And you and I know that when we work with agents and brokers, sometimes they don't see for themselves the potential, or they don't see what's blocking them from reaching another level, attracting more talent, expanding, really making a big difference, winning their competitions, winning their own goals. Sometimes they don't see it because they themselves have something inaccurate about themselves, or they don't know it, the whole picture. The advantage of using ChatGPT, it's letting you know what's really possible because it's looking at the data already available. It's making the connections for you. It's saving you weeks, months, maybe years of discovering for yourself your potential. Actually seeing it, like seeing yourself under that block of marble and say, oh, wow, that's really me. And it's like so inspiring and makes you alive, but it's only telling you what's always been your potential. You just had all these things blocking you.
I think that's what hit me this morning, Mario, when I was in the car and I was doing this, coming back from the gym. I was like, I felt inspired. I was like, ChatGPT actually inspired me. I was like, I didn't even see myself in that kind of light, right? So it's often from others that we get this acknowledgement or we get this boost, right? And sometimes when we look at ourselves, we're like, oh, I'm just grinding away here. I'm just doing my job. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good, but am I that good? I don't know. You know, I have to hear it from Robert. So he's like, your ability to share information is amazing, Alex. You're truly a great teacher. That hits me here, right? Like I need that. I don't need it, but I need it, right? Like it's so nice and it gives me this like extra. So like, let's leverage tools like ChatGPT that are going to give you this extra boost. So you might ask a question like, what unique perspective, expertise, or style do I bring that others don't? And you could ask ChatGPT or you could ask yourself, right? So this gets to differentiate you. And I love this statement, the only I statement. Like only I would do a webinar like this, right? First of all, like how many teachers do webinars like this? How many people give it away for free like this? I don't know. Not that many probably. But only I would weirdly weave in AI into a branding conversation. Only I would maybe be authentic about this is the struggle that I go through, right? So it's like, what's your only I statement? Think niche, think tone, think service or style, think personal story. And I got to put it out there for all of you. And every time I inspire an entrepreneur or a realtor to share their real story of why they got in the business, their business starts to explode. Mario, you remember the time when I got Benazati to share about his dad, right? Which I can openly share. My friend's dad died of diabetes. And my friend became a health coach, owned a health gym, right? But he never connected the dots. The reason he's so inspired to do that is he wanted to save his dad's life. And he still wants to save his dad's life. And he wants to save other people's lives. The second I opened him up to share that story, his career took off. Sometimes we don't share the real story behind why we got in real estate. What inspired you to do this? And if you were just to do that one video on social media, that would open up something for you. Huge. Right? You all know the story of me and my mom. Like every time I share that, that opens up something. It's like a next level. It's like an unraveling, right? So think about that for yourself. What makes you unique? And see if you can share that, written or verbal or video. What exactly are you trying to reach? And how do you want people to feel about you? That uncovers your ideal audience. the emotional connection, right? It helps you align your messaging and your content. So far, so good? So let's jump into like some brand pillars and values that may apply. I pulled together 12 of these, and I think a lot of these are going to apply to all of you. Maybe not all of them, but you might pick up one and go, yeah, that's me, right? I like that brand pillar. Authority. I believe many of you are authorities in your space, right? You wouldn't be on this call. You wouldn't be a real estate influencer if you weren't an authority in your space. So that might be a brand pillar that you carry. Expertise. I saw somebody on the call with 38 years. Expertise is important. People want to work with experienced agents. That is one of your brand pillars, the fact that you have expertise. Education. Maybe you're a CRS designated realtor. Maybe you took a class on luxury. Maybe you constantly are growing and learning on classes like this. Maybe you educate others on the home buying process, on the VA process, on mortgages, on this or that, right? Anybody, if one of these three are resonating, let me know in the chat. Would you consider these one of your brand pillars? And just put which one it is for you. Getting some yeses. Let's pick up some more. Honesty. Do you consider yourself very honest? Is that like one of your brand pillars? Like you won't go wrong on any deal. You're just so honest. Integrity is important to you, right? Integrity is extremely important for Mario and I. Like for years, all we talk about is integrity. Community. Are you serving a community? Are you helping your community? Do you want to give back to your community? These could be brand pillars. You can grab all of these. I love it. Renee says ethical, right? Robert, most important, integrity. Service results, yes. So start to list out your brand keywords / your brand pillars and values. Reputation. Maybe you like live off of your reputation. Referrals, name of the game. Maybe you're a digital marketing, your digital presence is solid and you leverage that in your brand pillars and values. Maybe you're social media. Maybe you're a LinkedIn person. Maybe you're a Facebook. Maybe you're an Instagram. Maybe you're a YouTube. Maybe you're going to become the next YouTube. By the way, I mean, I'm all in. Like I'm meeting the same YouTube specialist that Ben has. I'm meeting this person. I'm paying $1,000 for 1 hour of their time. That's the most money I've ever spent on 1 hour of somebody's time. $1,000 for 1 hour with a YouTube specialist. Why? Because YouTube pays. My friends are making $40,000 a month, $100,000 a month off of ads. It's wild, right? So maybe social media is one of your values. Lifestyle. Maybe you post a lot about lifestyle. Maybe lifestyle is one of your things. Maybe you're selling a lifestyle. Inspiration. Maybe you like to share inspiring quotes. Maybe you like to share inspiration with others. Authenticity. You like to be vulnerable and authentic on social media or in real life. Maybe that's how you connect your bond with your clients. So we get the world of it. You should start to think about these, like what are your brand values? Now you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask yourself, but somewhere on a document, on a spreadsheet, on a Canva presentation, start listing out anywhere between 3 to 12 brand values or pillars. And this is really the core of what makes up your brand. It's who you are. We asked the question before, who are you? Robert, you are integrity. You are expertise, right? Who are you? So if you're kind of getting a sense, put in the chat some of your brand values. And I see some of you doing it. List 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or things that are coming to mind. So you start to declare that these are your brand values. I'll give you a second to do that because listen, education alone never helped anyone. I say it all the time. Implementation is what makes the difference. So the second we write it down, it programs into our subconscious, programs into our brain. Things start to move. Things start to happen. Brenda, I love it. She says authenticity, reputation, honesty to begin with. Dominic says integrity, truthful. Expertise. community, social media, integrity. Nell's integrity, honesty, reputation, inspiration. So now that you're starting to build that, you all know that on Instagram, you have these little circles, right? Those are called highlights. You might use some of your brand values as the circles on your Instagram, right? You might start thinking that when you're posting on social media, let me post speaking to my values, speaking to my brand pillars. Does that make sense? So you start putting the messaging out that is in alignment with who you are as a brand. When the messaging goes out and it's not in alignment with who you are, people read it as inauthentic and they don't like it, they don't comment on it, they don't share it. When what you put out is in alignment with your values, people comment, people engage, people share. They're like, that's authentic. You get what I'm saying? If you're following, say I'm following. Mario, anything to add?
Yeah, this is wonderful. You're beginning to define yourself with empowering words. And I used to take a training a long time ago that would say, words create worlds. And that's truly what's happening here. Before, there was the idea that you are doing the best you can and you're learning and trying to make yourself better each and every day. But when you're actually using words to define yourself, then you become the source of this new level of performance in your life. Your performance with your relationships with business, your performance with your negotiation skills, your branding, your presence. There's a certain new air about you that is contagious and that it's very distinct from just being somebody who's just a hard worker looking down and trying to get through another day. So that's what's really happening here, and it's beautiful.
Awesome. And I see Juan over here is having all kinds of conversations with ChatGPT. I'm just going to say for a moment, everybody, I know that ChatGPT is going to entertain you, but I'm also here to educate you. So put the ChatGPT away if you could, and let's be present for this call. And then after this call, go nuts. Go play with that ChatGPT and then share with us.
Yeah. You remember, we have a text community. You guys get the updates, the invites all the time. Feel free to share, send some screenshots, anything that inspires you, that blows up your mind, let us know.
Yeah, you might come up with a mind-blowing prompt. Like, I don't know if all of you saw this prompt lately. It's one for ChatGPT. It says, make me an action figure with packaging and with all of these accessories. And it literally makes you like a Barbie or a Ken doll type of realtor packaging. You can do that in ChatGPT too. Don't do it now, just saying, but it's wild what's out there. All right, so a couple more brand pillars: luxury, waterfront, equestrian. Now I'm getting more niche, right? So if you're really if you're the equestrian realtor, yeah, you're going to want to put that in your brand messaging. You want to put that in your branding, put that in your brand statement. Now, I spoke about some major brand pillars: authenticity, expertise, community, client experience, digital presence. And here's some more variation on authority and expertise. Be the go-to expert in your niche. Share insights, trends, and predictions that show you're ahead of the curve. For example, I simplify the complex world of real estate for first-time buyers. All right, I love it. Millie says realtors are multitaskers too. Yes, we're all guilty. Education and value. Position yourself as a teacher, not just a seller. Tutorials on how-tos, market breakdowns, content that makes followers smarter, builds longer-term trust. Personality and authenticity. Show your real life. Show the behind the scenes. Show the wins and the fails, the moments of gratitude. You get where I'm going here? Your social media, your website presence, your brand can start to demonstrate some of these brand pillars and values. And now people have a better understanding of your essence of who you are. And I'm only recently getting clear on this, by the way. I'm just like, as I learn stuff, I love to share it because it made such a big difference for me. Community connection, showcase your local market and in love and involvement, feature local businesses. What if you went out there and interviewed local business owners with a mic? Like, that would make you look like an authority plus a community player. Help followers feel rooted and build authority. Lifestyle and inspiration. You're not just selling a home, you're selling a lifestyle. You've heard this stuff, but if it applies to you, now you want to consider putting it into practice. I can't tell you for how many years I sat on the sidelines watching people build their brands without me building mine, right? I think all of you go, yeah, we're selling a lifestyle. I get it. But how many of you are really selling a lifestyle, and how many of you are putting that into your brand messaging? I like this one. Carly says, I love showcasing my local biz. I call it Love It Local. I call it that in my head, but haven't put it out there. Yeah, perfect. There you go, Carly. So it's in your head. You love it. Let's get it out there too, right? Put it into action. Here's another exercise you can do. What's your brand character? Feminine, masculine, luxury, economical, youthful, mature, sophisticated, playful, subtle, obvious, drag and drop. Where do you fit in the scheme of this? Brand goals. What's your brand mission? To craft digital experiences that are super easy and people love them more than their mother. To create a brand vision, be a leading digital marketing and design agency in the world and work with the top brands around the world. For us, our brand vision was to become a household name in the industry. And we believe we did that this year with working with the top brands in the country. Brand purpose. We exist to simplify digital processes and unlock more value through digital systems, automation, and design. Now here is a great exercise, and I want you to do this. We have 10 minutes left. Your brand statement. I help target audience in market area with unique service or value. By providing a type of experience or approach, my brand stands for this. So here's the example, right? I'm Ana Benavides. I help homeowners and home sellers in Phoenix, Arizona, with buying the home of their dreams by providing a detail-oriented, collaborative experience, and my brand stands for honesty, integrity, and professionalism. So you could screenshot this, take a picture of it, but this is something I'd love for you all to work on is like, what is your target audience? What is your market area or areas? What is the unique service or value? What type of experience do you want your customers to have? What does your brand stand for? Do you stand for high standards? Do you stand for integrity? Do you stand for professionalism? How many are going to take on this challenge? If you're going to take on the brand statement challenge, let me know, and you can send us your brand statement once you have it.
Yeah, one thing I want to bring up now before we're done with this wonderful session is the huge importance on having somebody supporting you, coaching you, challenging you, and seeing your true potential. Some folks here have shared their writing notes. Some folks are discovering something they didn't realize was there, and they're getting mind blown. But I do wanna share the fact that one of the successful people that today we know now, he started because you, Alex Montalenti, you told him his potential, and he couldn't see that at all. Like that was not anywhere near his future ideas for himself, his fiance, and his business. He thought, hey, I make $30 an hour. I just work hard, accumulate my clients, and go to sleep happy. He didn't realize how much more he was capable of. But you encouraged him. You provided him a program. You guided him. You corrected his mindset, his language, and now he is unstoppable. He's only getting more influential, more effective each and every day. But he started at a point where he was just figuring out, can I really do this? But how? So the coaching, the support, somebody really holding you accountable and standing behind you, it's crucial.
Yeah. I mean, I have like 5 coaches myself. It's like I need that push to go to the next level. to really, and then the belief when I don't have the belief in myself. Yeah, it sounds like a good friend for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so take another screenshot of this. This was actually generated by ChatGPT. I said, I'm speaking to a group of real estate professionals today. Would you please make me a worksheet on how they can build their brand pillars? And ChatGPT produced this in a document for me. So you can take a screenshot. So now those questions I've been asking you, you can start to answer them for yourself. Who you really are, what drives you, what's your story, what's your expertise, what community do you serve, what do you want the client experience to be, what's your digital presence like? I pay $20 a month, Robert, for my ChatGPT. Not sure what service level that is, but that's what I pay. So take a screenshot of this. I think it'll be useful. We are giving you all the recording of this as well. And so if you notice, what we've been talking about until now isn't colors, designs, logos. All that stuff is nice, cute, but really the philosophical questions are the real big ones. Who are you for your clients? What are driving you? What are the values? What is your brand? Who are you as a brand? That's the stuff that's more important. It's your way of being in the business, not what you're doing in the business. Yeah, exactly. Clary says you need this first, then all the pretty logos. Yes, this is why I put this stuff first, right? A lot of the times we jump right in. Oh, I need a new logo. I'm redoing my brand. Let's do a rebrand. And the first thing we do is go to Canva and start playing with colors. No, it's the other way around, right? That's the mistake that most people do is they start that way. The logo is first. You don't even know who you are yet when you first launch a business, right? So if you agree with that, let me know you agree. You disagree with that, put disagree in there, because I know this is there's a what's the word? There's a point of contention here, or there's a disagreement on this sometimes. Awesome. I totally agree 100%, agree wholeheartedly. So then you get into like photography. But rather than photography, I would look at your social media and see what have you been posting. Maybe there's a recurring theme in your social media already, so you don't have to change and be inauthentic about how you're going to show up online. Like maybe you notice that you post a lot of orange stuff on your posts. You wear a lot of orange. Okay, well then that's part of your brand. Maybe you wear a lot of hats. Literally, not just in the business, but you like to wear hats, right? Maybe you like white jeans like me. Maybe you like white shoes like me, right? Then you can work on your logo and you can go in Canva and you can redesign, but you have to get clear on all of that stuff first, right? Then you can work on the logo combining with the colors that are your colors that go with your branding. And notice I'm not spending a lot of time on this because this actually isn't what matters. It's all the rest of how you show up, how you're messaging, how you're putting your voice out there. Then you can work on logo variations. I am going to mention this because I see this mistake a lot. When you're going to rebrand, make sure it works on all different backgrounds. Black background, white background, blue background. People will ask for your logo in all different ways, and you need to be able to present it in all different ways, right? See how you're using the space for the logo. A lot of you give us logos that we can't even put on your digital card because they're so big and tall when they need to be wide. Look at what your primary colors are. You might create a mood board. You might create a color chart of what the primary colors are that you like using for your brand. You might work on the tints. Now it gets more complex, right? You might work on the typography that you like to use. Are you going to be totally different on every post? Or are you going to start to use the same font over and over? If you're a techie, you're going to use more of a modern font. If you've been in the business 70 years, you're going to use more of a Times New Roman font. Then how are you going to show up on web and mobile? This is how I'm recreating my brand right now. And honestly, after I prepared this presentation, I'm redoing everything because I got clear too that it's not just about laying things on the page. It's really who am I being? It's how am I presenting myself? Is that clear on my website, in my branding? What does my social media look like? I can share that only recently my last 6 posts on Instagram are like in alignment with who I am authentically and what my brand is like. And I'm getting the most engagement now on my social media than before. Interesting, right? So I said, this is great information. What can I do to help some of you? Well, if some of you want a brand strategy call, I can't obviously do brand strategy calls with everybody on this call because there's 81 of you. So I tried to give you a framework and ChatGPT as a resource to create as much of this as possible. But if you're somebody that's like, Alex, I would love to just get on a call with you and do like a session on my branding, I can offer that to 10 agents. I don't have that much time, but I have enough that I personally want to dive into this deeper with about 10 agents to see what we can learn and uncover that probably will serve everybody in the long term. So if this speaks to you and you're like, Alex, yeah, this is great, I want to do this, just text the word branding to 516-400-4161. And I'll make sure to help you. Great, Tim, Robert, longtime clients. It's really an opportunity for us to build something together and for me to learn what I can provide to the rest of the agents. So if that's your thing, hit us up and we can make sure that you get on a call scheduled with me to take care of that branding strategy. Mario, anything you want to add to this?
Yes, there will be a charge for that, yes?
Yes, of course. I'm just charging for my time. So it'll be a 1 hour, one-time charge. And I can't do more than 1 hour though.
Money well spent equal as when you're paying somebody else with YouTube. It's a way that you honor the coaching, you honor the service, and you're investing in yourself. You got to invest in yourself. Next level.
There you go. So if that's speaking to you, I know it speaks to some people, not everyone. Text the word branding to 516-400-4161. If you never texted in before, you put in some information and then it'll ask you for your information and then it'll automatically send you a response. If you want to be added to the trainings that we're doing, and this is your first time here, all you got to do is text the word training to that same phone number. So if you want to be added to the trainings for the future, text training to 516-400-4161. And before we go, go ahead, Mario.
We got more than 10 folks who already requested the time with you.
Okay.
And that's a great sign. I mean, that just shows people are serious and they don't want to have to go. What we've always seen, you could go the hard way, you could go the long way, you could do the learning curve, or you can just take expert advice and actually get right into where you want to be at.
Excellent. Another thing to mention is I'm doing a lot of speaking. I'm getting ready to do a lot of traveling to different shows. If you are in the Central Panhandle, Florida area at the end of this month and you want me to come to your office, I am available to do that. I'll be at the Central Panhandle Association of Realtors. We're also going to be in Chicago in the next 2 weeks if you want somebody to come to your office and talk about social media, branding, any of these topics. If you know somebody that needs me to speak at their annual event or do a keynote, I'm available for those as well. Really building my speaking career here. As you can see, I'm passionate about education. And the last thing is, if you want to be added to the training list, text training to 516-400-4161. If you saw value in today's class and you want to help us, the nicest way you can help us is by doing a review on Google. It's realgraderreview.com. You can just go realgraderreview.com, pop us a 5-star review. Let us know that what you learned on the training today. I love reading those reviews. If you already did it, you can only do it once. And if you want to share the wealth, invite a friend next week. They can register for next week's training. It's influencerexperttraining.com. You can literally share this with your broker, by the way, and have them share with all their agents. There's no limit on how many people we can have on these Zooms nowadays. Back in the day during COVID, Mario and I used to have 500 agents on a call doing classes like every day, Monday through Friday. I want to get back to those days, and I need your support. I mean, you all have agents in your office. You all have brokers. Share the wealth. Take a screenshot. Let your brokers know, hey, there's this guy. He's a national speaker. He does these amazing classes. It helps a lot of agents, and the more the merrier. So if you learned something valuable today, let us know in the chat, what is your biggest takeaway? What did you learn that you're going to implement in your business? I love to read those comments. Feel free to share away in the chat. Once you state it, hey, this was my takeaway, this is what I'm going to do about it, that's when the magic happens. And thank you for being here. Love it. Brenda says, use AI much more than just helping with Word documents. Yes. Posts related to values. You're welcome, Carly. Creating my brand pillars and values. I will ask ChatGPT about my brand. Very helpful. Renee says, I'm the broker. I'll share with my office. Awesome, Renee. Just so you know, Renee, we do Zoom trainings for your office specifically, if you'd like. My takeaway today is the use of the ChatGPT to establish my brand. You made it easy to understand. I can do it myself. That's awesome. I've been using AI, but this course shows me that I can take it to another level. Excellent, Renee. Reach out. Email me at hello@realgrader.com or text us to let us know if you want us to send some information about an office presentation. Mary says, I got to do the branding after 38 years. I love it, Mary. If you need help, let me know. I'll share with my company, Signature Premier Properties on Long Island. Yes, I know Signature, Kathy Villard. Worked with them for years. That'd be awesome to get back in there. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Any last words you want to add, Mario? I think you never know how these are going to turn out, right? I put together the content. I know kind of what I'm going to talk about, but I think today we opened up a whole can of worms for people on understanding their brand and where they can take it.
Yes, I salute you all in advance for the discovery you've made of your brands, of your statement, of your contribution to the betterment of other people's lives, including yours. See you guys next time.
I'll put the link in the chat for somebody asked for the Real Grader review link. I just put it in the chat. You just click on it. It goes right to our page.
And I heard somebody was doing a presentation today teaching homeowners something. After you finish your presentation or right before you finish, you say, by the way, if you like what you heard, if you learned something, please go to Google and give me a 5-star review. Every review makes a difference, because once in a while you get a negative review. But if you got 1 negative review and 10 positive reviews, you still look amazing. It looks like you're not perfect, but you're definitely one of the best ones.
Yeah, and we pride ourselves on our reputation online. I recommend that you all put a lot of effort into building your reputation online. Those client stories tell a lot to your customers. So the link for review for us is realgraderreview.com. We really do appreciate it when people leave reviews. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next. We'll see you next Friday.
Can we meet on your Zoom after this, Mr. Alex?
You got it, sir.
Okay. Adios, everyone.